Part 47. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 461. I'm going to stay here for 3 years and not be able to contact you, not even during the summer vacation. At least, you have to record me looking healthy and cute and send it to my parents. Sakayanaga's child suggested. Indeed. This is doable. This is doable. Although there is no contact with the outside world, so as not to affect the student's thinking. But it's still possible to ensure that your family is safe. Katsuragi suddenly woke up from his fantasy. Oreki-san. He said, I thought of a reasonable way to communicate with the outside world. As a student union, I propose to organize students to record their own information, then make it into a CD, and then send it to their families by express delivery. But this must be proposed by a member of the student union. Katsuragi said, although the student council president has the power to replace student council members, it's great that I am still retained in the student council by Sakayanagi. When Sakayanagi took office, he nominated him to continue as secretary of the student union. The student union of Yuchin High School is more powerful than that of ordinary schools, so as the secretary, there is a high probability that his opinions will be adopted by the school. But did he? Katsuragi found out that he had received a message. Sakayanagi asked me to go over and get the student council's new list and paste it on the bulletin board. She said she changed 80% of the student union lists. Katsuragi. The president of students has the authority to reorganize his or her own student union. Generally, the new student council president of a high school will use the old employees of the previous term, because this is an affirmation of the vision of the previous student council president. But it is also possible to fire a bunch of them directly. Then Katsuragi-san seemed a little nervous. 80% of the roster has been changed, so now I don't know if I have been replaced or not. Is it? But don't worry, Katsuragi-san, because if you are no longer a member of the student council, Sakayanagi-san will not assign you to work. Sakayanagi-san is the same as him in making the best use of everything. But Oreki-san felt that Sakayanagi-san specially arranged for Katsuragi-san to get the list, and then went to a lot of trouble to post it. It seemed, it was not as simple as just changing the list. Then. Really? Oreki-san's cell phone received a large number of messages in just 10 minutes. Then they all asked the same question. Is it true that you are dating your classmate Sakayanagi? She announced it directly to the entire school on the bulletin board. After Katsuragi-san went to work in the student union, not long after, new information was announced on the bulletin board. 2 messages. Taking over the bulletin board space. Article 1. The first one after President Sakayanagi took office. It was not an order, but an announcement. Announced that he was dating Oreki Houtarou, who was in his class. And the second one. The list of members of the student union is being fine-tuned. It's said to be fine-tuning, but it's actually been overhauled. The first thing shown in the first column is that the vice president of Class A, Nagamo, was expelled from the student council for misconduct. Naun. On the way to the teaching building, after receiving this information, Nanyun was the first to come to the bulletin board. I was speechless looking at the black and white words on the paper. Nagamo. His friends are waiting for him. Or maybe you want to ask him what's going on. Is the notification wrong? How can one be expelled from the student union all at once? Just think of it as being cheated. Girls are indeed liars. Nanyunya pretended to be relaxed and said. In fact, I was cursing in my heart. He knew, Sakayanagi Yuzu was cute, but it was too much. How could you trick him into canvassing votes and then do it so brilliantly? And he knew very well that he deliberately recorded the audio and video when he was being persuaded, so that he could counter Sakayanagi. But The evidence cannot be produced now. The reason is simple. Take it out, then it's Sakayanagi Arasu failed to fulfill his promise, and then take it out. But Sakayanagi invited him to the student union. Yes. Entered. Then like now. After the invitation, you will be fired directly. Then you have been invited. It's really pretty. So even if it is an invitation for a day, it is still an invitation and a promise has been fulfilled. It was useless for him to bring out such recordings and videos. Yeah, why don't you think of something quickly? The orange red-haired girl standing aside with her arms folded was his childhood sweetheart, Asahina Heiji. Her advice was spot on. Yes. Nanyun knew. Now the halo of the vice president of the student union has been taken off. As for Kiriyama, second year class B, this guy is still in the student union. Because he betrayed Kiriyama, even if Kiriyama doesn't dare to target him, there must be a gap in his heart, so, the situation is not good for him. Therefore, we must find other ways to stabilize our position. So, it would be nice if all girls were as cute as Asahina. Asahina is his childhood sweetheart, they live next door, and their parents are also good friends. And he is handsome, and Asahina is also very beautiful. Unfortunately, Asahina never accepted him either. Nanyun did not stay at the bulletin board, but looked at it for a while and then left. He had to start rethinking how to stabilize his situation. Because of the upcoming special exam, Sakayanagi, a big liar, will probably greatly lower the score of the second-year special exam. In this way, his distribution plan is useless. Therefore, it is impossible to completely protect the students of Class C and Class D, so there is no need for Class C and Class D to support him. In this case, it becomes a big problem. So Nanyun took a quick look and left. But someone saw all the lists. Yes. After the position of vice president of Nagayunya was revoked, the positions of a large number of students were also changed. Even the head count for a position has been tweaked. Sakayanaga's request in the gym before. Nanyunya vice president. Katsuragi Yasuhei secretary. Kanzaki-san, Ichino-san accountant. Ryuan Sho, Ishizaki Daiichi, chores. Hirata Yasuke, Kusada Kikyo discipline committee member. It turned out that the votes of the 4 first-year classes were used for nothing when Oreki-san was canvassing for votes, but Sakayanagi fulfilled his promise and gave their classes seats as members of the student council. Achieve even exposure to rain and dew. Various class representatives were roped in. But now the list has become like this. Student Council President, Sakayanagi Yuzu. Student Union Vice Presidents, 2 persons Katsuragi Yasuhei, Kiriyama. Student Council Secretary, 2 persons Hanamai Ichinos, Hiri Shiina. 3 Student Union Accountants, Megami Kuruzawa, Haruka Hospi, Aria Ibuki. Accounting Supervision, Suzun Horikita, Mai Asato. There are a total of 3 chairmen and vice-chairmen of the Discipline Committee, Kusada Kikyo, Kito Jinichi, and Hashimoto Masayoshi. Student Council Mascots, Eri Sakura, Maesumi Kamuro. This is a very sharp list. It has basically nothing to do with the class representatives of each class. And he used very bold words. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 462. Chapter 199 Sakayanagi Yuzu and Oreki Houtarou are dating. Generally speaking, the third-year students of Horikita Academy were about to graduate, so when the new president of the student union was born, all the third-year students quit the student union. Then only the first graders and second graders will be the main players in the school. Certainly. After the winter vacation, new students will come in and they will all be promoted to a higher level. However, in the past, the student union basically retained the members of the previous student union, but when it came to Sakayanaga's current term, it was very cruel. Only Kiriyama-san is left. However, she thought highly of him and still placed him in the position of vice president of the student union. And this is the vice president. However, there are two vice presidents, and Itayanaga-san promoted Katsuragi-san, who is in the same class. Katsuragi-san was the secretary of the previous student council president Horikita Manabu, and he worked conscientiously for a year. So it's no surprise to get a promotion. But Sakayanagi-san is very generous. After reading the list, some students praised it. And these students are not all business students from Class A, there are also students from other classes. Because please see other lists. The secretary, Hanami Ichinos, is from Class B. For Class A, it is a competitive class. And Ibuki Mio and Shiina Hiri are from Class C, that is, people from Ryuan. Then there are super cute beautiful girls like Horikita Suzune, Kuruzawa, Kushida, Hospi Haruka, Sato-san, and Sakura, all students of Class D, first grade. That is to say. Now the new student council members include Senior Kiriyama from the second year, there is only one, and the others are all first years and come from various classes, even hostel classes. Even the students in Class D, who had the worst evaluation, gave him an olive branch. Can only say. Very spirited. After all, I am also compatible. This is how President Sakayanagi explained this. He looks upright, high-minded, and open-minded at the same time. He. As for Kamuro-san, who is the mascot, when he saw the position of mascot written in white and black letters, he felt something was wrong. Kamuro felt that she didn't believe her. According to her understanding of Sakayanagi Arisu, this student union list is actually not that noble. It should be said that it is like her private toy place. That's why the strange position of mascot appears. Ordinary positions that do not require much ability will also use the status of chores, rather than a mercilessly explicit pet. And have you discovered one of the important points? Although Katsuragi-san and Kito-san were originally members of the student council, now, Sakayanagi has even roped in people like Hashimoto from Class A to the student council. So, where is Sakayanagi Yuzu's favorite Oreki Houtarou? He is not on the list of members of the student union. Did Sakayanagi forget him? Or to avoid suspicion? No, Sakayanagi is not that kind of person. Because unlike the fool Nagamo-senpai throws it away after using it. However, after Itaiji became the student council president, the first thing he did as the student council president was to announce his relationship with Oreki Houtarou in a high-profile manner. This is a real thing, not an attempt to take advantage of the other person. The reason is that Sakayanagi was harassing her last night and asked her how to promote it in a high profile. Sakayanaga's initial idea was to hold a meeting and announce it in front of all the students, but the former student council president Horikita Manabu had not graduated yet. So if you gather students in front of such people and make an announcement, you may be lowered by the other party. Although the probability is not very high, it is possible that the other party will ask you to resign. Therefore, the next best thing is to put the relationship on the bulletin board. Kamuro finally understood that Sakayanagi Yuzu was in love. So, as a girl in love, would she be unwilling to give good things to the boy she likes? It should be that he handed it over the moment he got it. So, why is there no member of the new student council named Houtarou Oreki? Then this can only be the reason. The student union's list goes a step further and can actually be abbreviated like this. It can be translated like this. Student Council President, Sakayanagi Yuzu. Vice President of the Student Union, 2 persons Tool Man. Student Union Secretary, 2 people Love Rival. 3 Student Union Accountants, Love Rival, Unknown. Accounting Supervisor, an honest person, dated Oreki-san, a dangerous person, a loser who failed to confess his love to Oreki. Chairman of the Discipline Committee, love rival, paralyzed subordinate, spy monitor. Student union mascot, pet, errand boy. Kamuro speculated that she knew Sakayanagi very well. I feel that Sakayanagi probably did this because he wanted to. Several students from Class A were deliberately arranged, but this was just to fool Class A. After all, everyone supports her as the student council president, so she has to show off. Actually, she arranged for her love rivals to come in. She goes on a date by herself and then lets her love rivals do the work. In this way, she tortures her love rivals while no one disturbs her date. Isn't this spiracy? So, this is probably the reason why Sakayanagi initially said that if she became the student council president, she would not give Oreki-san any student council positions. Rather, Banliu, did you actually fall so early? Kamuro was shocked when he figured it out. As Sakayanagi Arisu's confidant and the person who knows her best, Kamuro-san understands this. But Kamuro-san said as he followed Itayaru. You just started dating Oreki Houtarou in such a high-profile way, and then you kept your love rival by your side. Don't you think there will be problems? Hee. But President Sakayanagi calmly held his cane and walked forward. Hearing this, he seemed to smile, which looked so cute. But her tone was outrageous. That's what she said. Those losers. How worthy are they? If they could do something, I would look up to them. What a confident statement. I don't know where she got her confidence. Because Kamuro-san himself knows that it is not just the upperclassmen, but the students in the same grade, the number of girls who have a crush on Oreki-san can be counted on one hand. So there are many love rivals. Therefore, Sakayanagi is now announcing this kind of news in such a high-profile manner. So are these people really losers? Some students in Class D, Grade 1, are still not in the classroom. Today, Kushida-san went to the classroom with her classmates. But it suddenly stopped at the bulletin board on the first floor. Because they found that some classmates were paying attention there. Hey, now, Kushida-san. Kushida doesn't have a fixed party. As everyone's little angel, she acts randomly with the Kurosawa group, Onodera's group, or with Porika's group. Everyone accepted her and trusted her. The team Kushida went to school with today was a mixed team. Kurosawa's group, but Kurosawa is not there. And Sato-san is not here either. So the people present were Kushida, best friend Wangmiu, Hospi Haruka, Sakura Eri, and Matsushita Kayaki. When it comes to Wangmiu, we have to say that when Pingtian collapsed before, she worked so hard to save Pingtian. Even if he was publicly executed and Hirata pointed out that he liked him, it would be useless. However, after the command tower exam and Hirata's condition improved, Wangmiu felt that Hirata no longer had so much charm. Kushida could only sigh at this situation. But Kushida would basically bury his thoughts in his heart. The one who needs attention is Hospi-san. Like her, Hospi Poriga stayed around in various small groups. Then he specially brought his best friend Sakura Eri with him several times. This allowed Sakura-san to be contacted by more students. Regarding this kind of thing, Kushida thought it would be better to see through it without saying anything. And she didn't hate Sakura either. Rather, the photos of Oreki-san that she acquired from Sakura, the photographer, became a tool for her to get in touch with the upperclassmen. So she was very grateful to Sakura-san for her selfless dedication. Isn't that Horikita-san? The students came to the bulletin board on the first floor. Then I saw some classmates looking at the notice. Baruga immediately pointed out one of the people watching the announcement. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 463. Yes. Horikita-san. Kushida initially targeted Horikita Suzun because she came from the same junior high school. For Kushida, this closed high school was the place where she regained her life. But the black history is bad, so she was worried that Horikita, who went to the same junior high school as her, would tell her about it. Although it was finally confirmed that Horikita Suzun did not know the specific content. And during the sports festival, Horikita Suzun also caught a small trick. So little Kushida had no choice but to be nice. Damn Horikita Suzun. However, Kushida also knew that Horikita Suzun shined in 2 consecutive exams and received a lot of support from the class. Even if she was unwilling to do so, she could not stumble. Rather, it's a good thing she ate it. His popularity was almost cut in half. But now that the first grade is coming to an end and freshmen are about to come in, she will be in danger if her junior students who know her dark history enroll in her school. So I could only hug Oreki Houtarou's thigh. Then naturally we can't continue to target Horikita Suzun. So she knew that Horikita didn't like her blocking him at her door, and now she could only compromise first. So that's why she went to school this morning with her motley crew. Kushida. And a student ran over from the bulletin board. Great, your name has been preserved, the student union's list has been greatly updated, and you have kept your original position. He said. This is an ordinary boy in the class. The kind of passers-by. I don't even want to remember my name, Kushida. It's like announcing good news. Only. What does it mean that she kept her original position? Confusion appeared on Kushida's face. And the boy discovered the other 2 students in the small group, Hospi-san, and Sakura-san. You have also become officers of the student union. This is not the expression of Kushida alone, but the same expression of everyone. Because this passerby man was saying something strange. They all became officers of the student union? Isn't the student council president Yuzusaka Yanagi? She actually wants them to be her officers? Is it poisonous? Kushida knew that the reason why he and Hirata announced to join the student union when Itayanaga took office was because of the previous transaction of the class voting for Sakayanagi. In other words, that exaggerated guy Oreki Houtarou's free prostitution plan. And if Kushida can join the student council, well, it will add the name of the student council, which seems to be more valuable. Status improved. At the same time, there are some subsidies for joining the student union, so it is also very point-friendly. But Hospi-san and Sakura-san also join the student council? Hey. Everyone's abilities are completely insufficient. I heard a long time ago that Ichinos applied to the student union last semester, but was rejected by President Horikita. In other words, if the standards for joining the student union are so high and Ichino-san was rejected, then how were Hospi-san and Sakura-san asked to join? Let's go over and see. Kushida suggested. At this time, no one had any objections. Especially Sakura-san, who looked confused when he was called, and Hospi-san, who was also confused. Who? Don't squeeze in, there are a lot of people. I'm sorry. There were a lot of students at the bulletin board, but some of them immediately stepped aside after recognizing Kushida and the others, including some girls from other classes. This is a relatively rare move. As students of Class D, they are not valued by Class A, Class B basically only plays with them, and Class C is hostile to them, so it is surprising that they are like this. But Kushida and the others had already reached the bottom of the bulletin board and understood the strange reactions of the students around them. New list of students. Student Council President, Sakayanagi Yuzu. Student Union Vice Presidents, 2 persons Katsuragi Yasuhei, Kiriyama. Student Council Secretary, 2 persons Hanamai Ichinos, Hiri Shiina. 3. Student Union Accountants, Megami Kuruzawa, Haruka Hospi, Rei Ibuki. Accounting Supervision, Suzun Horikita, Mai Asato. There are a total of 3 chairmen and vice-chairmen of the Discipline Committee, Kushida Kikyo, Kito Junichi, and Hashimoto Masayoshi. Student Council mascots, Eri Sakura, Maesumi Kamuro. Look. In this new list. If it wasn't a prank, there would be at least 6 students in their class here. And the list has changed so much, I haven't received any information. Kushida seemed surprised. But at this moment, a lot of things were flashing through her heart. Because her relationship with Sakayanagi Yuzu is not simple. She knew that Sakayanagi from class A had been pursuing Houtarou Oreki. And she also provided the other party with a large number of photos of Oreki-san. As expected, the student council's list has also undergone major changes. For example, Kanzaki-san from Class B, Ishizaki-san from Class C, Ryuan-san, and Hirata-san from their class have all been deleted. And these people are all representatives of various classes. But now that Sakayanagi has become the student council president and has modified the list, will he retain her position so generously? Kushida couldn't be sure. And instead of her own name, what she is paying attention to now is the accounting supervision. The name over there is Horikita Suzun. Grass. In other words, Horikita Suzun is also in the student union. In other words, not only will she meet Horikita Suzun during class, but she will also be with Horikita Suzun in the student union after school. Although I thought that Oreki Houtarou was annoying, Horikita Suzun was also annoying. Then, the plan to take revenge on both people at the same time is to become Horikita Suzun's love rival. Green the opponent. And for this, she might have to become Horikita Suzun's best friend. Such revenge is satisfying. But this doesn't mean that she really wants to be with Horikita Suzun forever. Oh my God. God, please save her. And there are people who are even more explosive than her. That's Sakura. Lucky, mascot. Sakura Eri felt a little unbelievable and almost fainted, but Poruga quickly supported her. Yes. Being treated like a mascot or something is really too much. But Poruga felt that Sakayanagi was very discerning. Eri is indeed very cute, just like a small animal. If she is not a friend, then she also wants to raise Eri. Don't you think this list looks a little familiar? And Hospi-san, who was also selected by the bird screen, suddenly said. She was very surprised when she saw her name. Because she has no contact with Itaiji, she has a better relationship with Oreki-san from Class A. Rather, she is the other party's spy in Class D. And she was not stupid and discovered that Oreki-san had specially formed a group when he voted to drop out of the extra class exam. In addition to her, there are Kuruzawa, Sakura-san and Sato-san in the group. And now, they are all on the list. Could it be that the current list was arranged by Oreki-san? Oh no. Etc. Everyone. Look. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 464. Hospi discovered Watson, Sakayanagi, and Oreki-san are dating. Yes. On top of the student union's list are 2 things. One of the incidents was that Vice Chairman Nagamo was fired for misconduct. Probably with this in mind, the list of student council members was revised. But above this is I'm dating Oreki Houtarou. You vixens who are staring at Oreki-san, please pay attention to me, by President Sakayanagi. Wow. It's really so arrogant. Chapter 200 The Lost Dog Alliance. What an arrogant statement. Rather say. Sakayanagi-san actually announced that he and Oreki-san were dating directly. Still so high profile. But it seems that most people are paying attention to the list of new student unions. In fact, this is not the case. Why is this happening? Didn't Houtarou say that he wouldn't date anyone in high school? Someone made such a sound. This is Kuruzawa Megami. She was also among the crowd watching the bulletin board. And Kuruzawa-san is indeed quite disappointed. Obviously, instead of seeing herself become a student council officer, she was more concerned about the fact that Sakayanagi Arisu directly announced her relationship with Oreki Houtarou. Because Houtarou obviously gave her a birthday gift, and said it was the first time he gave a gift to a girl, but he actually wanted to date Sakayanagi Arisu. And this kind of thing is a bit mentally prepared. After all, Sakayanagi-san is cuter than her. At the same time, when Houtarou took her to buy gifts, the hat gift he bought was also the most suitable for Sakayanagi. But Houtarou said that Sakayanagi gave him a birthday gift, so he wanted to return the gift. In other words, it was a polite way of saying it. Result: they were dating like this. She had no idea about this kind of thing. Why is this happening? While Xiao Hui was shocked, she found that Sato, who was following behind her, started crying. His hands were wiping tears like a kitten. But tears fell heavily. Sato-san, you have already confessed your love and then took away Houtarou's first kiss. You should have just let it go. As a losing dog, you have already won a lot over others. So now that I know he is dating someone else, I should bless him. Xiaowai complained in her heart. Little Kushida noticed the figures of Kuruzawa and Sato-san. I also paid attention to Sato-san's condition. After the sports festival, most of the girls in the class saw the scene where Sato-san went to confess his love to Oreki-san from Class A and was rejected. And now Sato-san's performance is obviously, he hasn't given up yet. Kushida-san had already somewhat reacted at this time. Because this student union list is very problematic. There are a total of 6 students in Class D. Moreover, she does not think that she is very good, but Sato-san, Kuruzawa, and the others do not have outstanding abilities in all aspects, so they are not qualified for the position of the student council. So why did President Sakayanagi let them all in? Kushida found that a connection could be made. Because I'm dating Oreki Houtarou. You vixens who are staring at Oreki-san, please pay attention to me, by President Sakayanagi. Wow! President Sakayanaga's attack power is very strong. And the words used are vixens. This is the rhetoric of the main palace sufferer. And now the list of girls who have been put into the student union, like Ichinose-san, well, Kushida discovered that Ichinose has been attacking Oreki Houtarou recently. As for Horikita Suzune, this is an honest person who doesn't understand love, but she is also a love rival who must be dealt with if she wants to date Oreki Houtarou. As for Hiri from Class C, because she is cute and adorable, she has also become Oreki-san's dog, so she also needs some attention. Hey. Listed in this way, aren't these girls the type who have a good relationship with Oreki-san and maybe love rivals, or potential love rivals? And Kushida himself is still on the list. In other words, did Sakayanagi-san actually suspect her? She is obviously so innocent. She didn't like Oreki Houtarou. And even if Sakayanagi didn't include her as a love rival, I'm afraid the other people on the list would be suspicious of her when they find out that they are surrounded by love rivals. And this kind of thing is not a good thing for Kushida-san, who wants to build a friendly Kushida empire. She doesn't want to be interfered with anyone's love. So Kushida made a proposal. How about checking with Oreki-san during lunch break? Sato-san. Kushida trotted over, took out a handkerchief and handed it to Sato-san and said. This tone sounded like he noticed Sato-san was crying and then gave his opinion. In fact, the correct thing to do is to send a message directly to Oreki-san to confirm. However, Kushida said that she would confirm during the lunch break, which showed that her relationship with Oreki-san was very far away, and she could not even contact him directly by mobile phone, so she could only go to see each other during the lunch break. And this kind of thing. That's really revealing, Kushida-san. And Hospi-san already felt that Kushida-san was not that reliable during the last additional voting withdrawal exam in the class. And now, he even noticed that Kushida-san seemed to be hiding his closeness with Oreki-san. The reason why I say this is that when Hospi himself went out with Sakura-san, he happened to meet Kushida and Oreki-san. At that time, Kushida-san was like a little angel beside Oreki-san. No matter how you look at it, the relationship doesn't look that shallow. So, the two have a good relationship. Then, Kushida-san is still deliberately acting like he is not familiar with Oreki, which makes people very suspicious. But it's possible. Because after all, Oreki-san is now dating Sakayanagi-san. They all have girlfriends, so as rational girls, they should keep their distance. Apparently, Hospi-san, who discovered the relationship between Sakayanagi and Oreki-san, has yet to realize that the list of students in the student council is actually the Love Rivals Association. Yeah, that's right, Hospi-san said. Oreki-kun is also a celebrity in the school, so I think we can ask him during lunch break. After all, Sato-san confessed to him before. He said he didn't want to date others and wanted to study during school time. Sato-san seemed to be unable to stop crying. This. Hospi just wanted to change the subject, not to hurt Sato-san. Let's see if there is any misunderstanding or something, Hospi quickly added. Then. By the way, what do you think of Eri? Hospi quickly changed the subject. So Xiang supported Sakura-san, who almost fainted after hearing that she was the pet of the student council. I want to change the topic from Sakura-san. I don't really want to go to the student union, but Sakura-san also said with an expression that looked like she wanted to cry. Profound. Which means she just doesn't want to be the student council's pet. So Sakura-san is safe. Another pet from the student union who was left waiting to collect information thought in his mind. Then it's decided, Kuruzawa suggested. Go find Oreki-san during lunch break. Obviously the reason he used when rejecting Maya was that he wanted to study while in school, but now he is dating someone. It's so strange. Maybe it's a misunderstanding or something. Kuruzawa said, and Maya also wants to know. Yes, Sato-san nodded as he sniffed. Then she can officially get the answer. She was obviously the person closest to Houtarou, but to be told such a thing suddenly was totally unacceptable. Xiaohui said in her heart. So Kamuro-san reported to Sakayanagi that everyone was going to spy on Oreki-san at noon. In this way, he obviously agreed to come over during lunch break to spy on information. Oreki-san found that his cell phone received a large number of messages. Kuruzawa, 3. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 465. Hospi, 6. Sato Maya, 7. Kushida, 56. Archangel Ichinos, 5. Sakura, 1. Horikita Gakushu, 1. Speaking of which while staying under the bulletin board, Kamuro-san took the initiative to strike up a conversation with Horikita Suzune, who was in the crowd, but her expression did not change after reading the bulletin that Sakayanagi asked Katsuragi to post. Horikita-san, don't you have any objections to Oreki and Sakayanagi's relationship? Kamuro-san asked. She confirmed that a serious person like Horikita would have read the announcement from top to bottom. Then Horikita-san is indifferent? So heartbroken. Kamuro-san found it incredible. Because during the vacation, Oreki said that he was dating Horikita Suzune. Kamuro-san at the time didn't think so. But later I learned from Sakayanagi, that Horikita Suzune and Oreki-san dated and kissed. This is really a powerful attack. Therefore, Kamuro was a little curious. Because, from the perspective of dating and kissing, Sakayanagi is undoubtedly the loser. But now he has become a winner. How about your mood, Horikita Suzune. Dating. Horikita-san seemed to be paying attention. Does it mean the relationship between Oreki Houtarou and Sakayanagi? To be honest, I'm in a bad mood, Horikita Suzune said. Oh. Is it sad to say that? After all, it was you who went on the first date, and it was you who took Oreki further. Kamuro-san thought this, and then heard Horikita continue to say, he clearly said that he would study hard during his study time, but he ended up falling in love or something. I'm sorry, Horikita Suzune said. The Divine Room. Hello. Horikita Suzune, is this what you care about? Are you more concerned about the betrayal of your schoolmates, rather than the dissatisfaction of having your man taken away? Kamuro felt a little unable to understand Horikita. So how does Horikita-san feel about being chosen to join the student body by Sakayanagi? Kamuro decided to change the subject. Because this topic is somewhat difficult to proceed with. Horikita didn't respond to her immediately, but still sighed. I think you all know about the rumors in the school before. I am the sister of the former student council president, so Sakayanagi can get so many votes. It should be because of my brother and her the result of the transaction. And the reward should be for me to join the student union. Ah. Yes. There is still such a thing. It is indeed reasonable and well-founded. The more than 340 votes Sakayanagi received did indeed include the votes from class A of the 3rd grade. But looking at it this way, Horikita Suzune doesn't look like a love rival that Sakayanagi needs to be concerned about. Therefore, it is probably a mistake that Sakayanagi specifically invited Horikita to join the student union. Horikita-san does not need to be on guard. So, realizing that it was getting late, Kamuro Maesumi evacuated from the bulletin board and prepared to return to class. While leaving, she met a student from Class C. Previously, Oreki had obtained first-year votes through prostitution and deception, but the price was that he had to recruit the class representatives of 4 classes into the student council. And this kind of thing, Sakayanagi has done it before. Although it was announced now that President Nagamo was fired, Ryuan, Ishizaki, Kanzaki Ryaji, and Hirata-san were also fired. But in order to silence everyone, she still gave him a position in Class C. For example, Hiyori-san is the default choice, while Ibuki-san is an additional choice. And the reference opinion is: Kamuro-kun, do you think there are any other girls in Class C who can be offered a position? Sakayanagi asked her before confirming the list. Why do you have to choose a girl? Kamuro was puzzled. I'm dating Oreki-san now, and then I became the student council president. Even if I don't want to, the time I need to stay in the student council will be extended. If there are boys from other classes, my Oreki-san may be unhappy. Oh. That's it? It's to prevent my boyfriend from getting jealous. So Sakayanagi is really a love brain. Falling in love is terrible. Kamuro-san has a dark history of almost conquering himself on the ship, so he hates it deeply. Then, Kamuro thought about how he picked up Rei Ibuki, who almost brought danger to the class, during the Kojima exam. Ibuki followed Ryuan's orders and came up with a plan, but it was also a stain on Kamuro-san. Because of this, she had to wash Oreki Houtarou's clothes for 7 days. So, Ibuki-san, you can join the student union, and you have to thank her for her suggestion. Let's do all kinds of work well in the student union. Kamuro was very sure that Sakayanagi arranged for so many love rivals to come in. It must be because he didn't really want to work and then delegated them. Therefore, the current student council members are actually all work tools. With this thought in mind, Kamuro-san left here. In this way, after the information was announced on the bulletin board, the relevant students returned to their classes. After all, it's school time now, and apart from being shocked by the sudden news, everyone is still a student. Oreki-kun, congratulations. I thought you and President Sakayanagi are a good match. Congratulations on your successful cultivation now. After the students in the class checked the bulletin board, they immediately congratulated Oreki-san. But this classmate is also very realistic. Before, I was Sakayanagi-san, and now I am President Sakayanagi. Compared with this, Oreki-san is a little troubled. Because Hospi-san reported that students from Class D might form a group to attack him during the lunch break. Oh no, they might come to cause trouble during the lunch break. The reason is that the reason why Oreki rejected Sato before was that he wanted to study in school and was not capable of falling in love. So the current public relationship with Sakayanagi is undoubtedly contrary to this point. In this way, it seems that they are paying enthusiastic attention to him, and they hope to get his true meaning. So, this was because Sato-san came to confront him. But Oreki checked the messages he received from the girls, but they were all asking about himself. So, it's time for lunch break. Oreki chose to have dinner with Sakayanagi as usual. It would be better to say that she directly openly dated him on the bulletin board, so the latest meal could only be with her. Oreki-san is very good at taking care of people's faces and comforting them. Chapter 201 Sakura's Sixth Sense, Intuition. Lunch break time, that is, lunchtime. The last class of Class D is math class. Unlike Mr. Chibashira, the math teacher sometimes delays the class for a few minutes. And today was bad, I was delayed for a full 10 minutes. It seems that teacher Ogura, who teaches mathematics, is more caring. Considering that next month is the customary special exam, it is actually just a written exam, and the content of the assessment is the focus of the class. There is still no way to take shortcuts. So she took care of the students in Class D. She has taught Class D and Class C students for 5 years in this school. The atmosphere among this year's first-year students is very good. To be precise, there are very few dropouts, and the class evaluation scores are also different from previous years. At the end of the first grade, he can retain close to 500 points, so he has a little more motivation. But then that's the end of today's class. Let's finish the get out of class, the teacher said. I noticed that several students stood up and quickly left the classroom towards the cafeteria. For it. Are you all so hungry today? Although there was an element of hunger, there was obviously something else going on. Because the girls were almost counting their fingers waiting for get out of class to end. After all, they had a big show during lunch break. By the way, the new student council president of our school is really bold. He directly mentioned on the bulletin board that he is dating Oreki from Class A boy said. Oreki-san is very popular, but there has never been any news about who he is dating. I thought he was not interested in romance. The girls discovered that there was a boy coming out with them. Classmate Chi, why are you here too? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 466. Don't we all go to the canteen together, Chi Kwanzi said. We go to the cafeteria together, but the goal is not to eat. Ike, you are so troublesome. We have other things to do. Kuruzawa's friend, a hot girl named Satsuki Shinohara, replied to him. And, other things. Can't you tell me that you don't understand? Shinohara seemed a little irritated. We are going to do girls' things, can you stay out of the way? Well, Chi Kwanzi didn't seem to expect to be spoken to in such a direct and disturbing way, so he stood a little blankly. As a young Kushida who is good at atmosphere, Kushida immediately realized that Ike-san's purpose of following him out might not be as simple as being in the way. As for the purpose, it is probably for Shinohara-san. Chi Kwanji's emotional intelligence is not as low as his previous friend Yamauchi. It would be better to say that his emotional intelligence is actually quite high. Therefore, having been dumped so much by Yamauchi before, he immediately became nervous, obviously thinking of the bad consequences of being dumped. Since the morning, some girls in the class, and some of them good-looking girls, seemed to be absent-minded. Although I was surprised that all 6 girls in the class were invited to join the student union. But what girls are really shaken by is romance and the like. So Chi thought that in addition to the new list of the student council, there was another one that was the public romance of the student council president Yuzusaka Yanagi. And Oreki-san from class A came to the class after enrolling and started talking to some girls in the class. So, he was wondering if one of the girls in the class had a crush on Oreki-san. It turns out, it really is. And he had a crush on Shinohara-san in his class, so when he saw Shinohara-san was also going to the cafeteria with Kuruzawa, Kushida, Sato-san, and Hospi-san, and seemed to be preparing to find Oreki-san, he a little anxious. Shinohara sat in the front row, while Ike Kanji's seat was farther back. When collecting homework or looking back, you can find that Ike Kanji sometimes subconsciously looks in Shinohara's direction. And boys and girls do this in class. You can basically confirm that you have a crush on her or even like her. But now, Shinohara-san is really not aware of the boy's thoughts at all. But Kushida has never been interested in this kind of thing. Because in the last semester, this classmate Chi wanted to confess to her, but finally gave up, which really saved her trouble. And Kushida made good friends with everyone, and had a good relationship with Shinohara-san, and got Shinohara-san's secrets. In other words, if you get into the other person's heart, then the other person will have many things to say to her. This is a good thing, it is the Kushida empire that Kushida wants. But it's also troublesome. And once Shinohara-san gets into the topic of love, and according to Shinohara's character, he is likely to ask her for help or comfort because of breaking up with a boy, getting angry, wanting to reconcile, etc. And this kind of thing is troublesome. In this way, just let the love flag be unplugged. As long as you are not in love, there will be no love counseling. Kushida-san thought so in his mind. Because I found that I wanted to go to a place where I could kick the railings but often found someone there, so I lost the place to vent myself. Then the limit of the pressure she can bear in her heart will be reduced, so friends will have less troubles, and she will be relaxed. In this way, he clearly saw the sign of love, but Kushida-san just pretended that he didn't notice it, showing no mercy. And Oreki-san has already arrived at the cafeteria. He did not go to the cafeteria after class with the students in the class. Instead, he went to the office to help the teacher submit the information. After doing this, he went to the cafeteria. There are 2 ways to find Banlieu. If there is an exclusive seat for 2 people, classmates in the class will help to occupy the seat, and over time, the students nearby basically understand it. So I will also give way to that position. The second method is much more direct. That is to find Kamuro-kun. Although she wears the same uniform as ordinary girls, Kamuro-san is very tall and has eye-catching long purple hair. At the same time, she was wearing black socks, so her slender calves could be seen. Oreki-san was lucky enough to discover Kamuro-san right away. And finding Maesumi Kamuro also means finding Yuzusaka Yanagi. Mrs. Sakayanagi was indeed sitting at a corner of the dining table. The students around her seemed to be in a hurry, but the atmosphere around her was filled with the feeling that time had stopped. Fair skin, cute appearance, and very textured silver hair. Probably because he had skin-to-skin contact, when he comes into contact with Sakayanagi again, he will find that his heartbeat will speed up. This isn't a bad thing. After all, Sakayanagi-san has always been cute. Have you been waiting for a long time? Oreki came to his seat. No, rather, I know I'm waiting for Oreki-san, but I can't experience the flow of time at all. The little princess looked very decent. But the divine room. Wow. Is this the woman who just announced their relationship? I always feel that Sakayanagi is particularly greasy today. In fact, for Kamuro-san, Sakayanagi is not the kind of person who is easy to get along with. Sakayanagi is a person with a high IQ. Sometimes what she says and what she does are very different. If you don't make good guesses, you may be led into a ditch. Kamuro-san understands this very well. Only. Kamuro-kun, can I ask you a favor? I want to talk to Houtarou more, so you come to get food. Sakayanagi Yuzu said this. This is probably true. She just wanted to talk. Because he often served her, Kamuro knew very well how infatuated this woman was with Oreki Houtarou. Thinking of this, Maesumi Kamuro couldn't help but turn around and look at Houtarou Oreki. Because what's so good about this kind of man? He's just a little more handsome, runs a little faster, has better motor cells, has a better brain, and is richer and a little more handsome. Kamuro-kun, please hurry up. Do you want me to tell the truth? Are you causing trouble here now? Sakayanagi-san said softly. And her eyes were not friendly at all. It sounds mean, but Kamuro-san understands very well that this must be because Sakayanagi-san dislikes her for staring at her Oreki-san. Doesn't this work? Just take a look. Obviously she is also a classmate. Classmates have to live together for 3 years, so can't she just look at her classmates? Kamuro was a little dissatisfied, but she left first. Because she noticed that at the entrance of the canteen, the same group of people from the morning finally came. Although I really wanted to stay and watch the show, it would not be good if I stayed and got the attention of those losers, and then kept asking about Oreki and Sakayanagi. Sakayanagi sent Kamuro away to buy food, but she had been prepared beforehand. Oreki noticed that Sakayanagi took out a lunch box. Is this a bento? Oreki-san has never eaten a girl's bento. Yes. But I'm not very good at it, so please forgive me if there is anything lacking in appearance, Sakayanagi said. In other words, she is very confident about the taste. Oreki looked at the weight of the bento on the table, and sweat broke out on his forehead. Because the portion is huge. Indeed. And this is also very Sakayanagi style. Oreki had no doubt that if he didn't want to work, then she would support him. While others thought eating fat was dangerous, she felt satisfied and even thought she should do it. Because if you gain weight, you won't irritate other women. Therefore, Sakayanagi wanted to make him fat. Are classes only for certain classes? There was a commotion from the entrance to the cafeteria. It seems that there are students who are filing in. Probably because there are so many beautiful and lovely people, these people become conspicuous. And Oreki-san suddenly noticed a familiar face among these people. Part of it was the list of names in the new student union, and he knew very well how amazing the list of girls in Sakayanaga's student union was. This is truly a spectacular sight, Oreki-san's girlfriend said. Indeed, Oreki-san said with a sigh. Because, in fact, he himself was the same. He didn't expect Banlieue to announce the relationship so directly. I thought she just wanted to get his body. Result. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 467. She wants more than this. She wanted them all. As a result, the girls he knew, almost exploded. The girls from Class D, first grade, came to the cafeteria. But this time there were a lot more people arriving. In addition to the key figure Sato-san, Sato-san's friends Kuruzawa, Shinohara-san, and Matsushita Kayaki all came. Hospi-san, on the other hand, was just out of curiosity. And along with it, she brought Sakura with her. Then Kusita-san came over to lighten the mood. When Sakura-san was brought here, She thought Haruka had the courage to stand up for her and argue with Itaiji-san that she was a human and not a pet. Result. Then I found out that it was because Oreki-san was dating Itaiji. And before, Sato-san confessed his love to Oreki-san and was rejected, but now he accepts the pursuit of another girl. This makes everyone think that Oreki-san is going back on his promise. But it's obvious that Oreki-san and Kurosawa-san dated. And now I have not gotten back together with Kurosawa-san. But he dated Sakayanagi-san. Could it be that? I also asked Oreki-san. He seems to have refused to fall in love on campus, but now he actually agrees to date Sakayanagi-san. Sakura-san had already seen Oreki-san and Sakayanagi-san sitting together, and Sakayanagi-san seemed to have made a bento by hand. And Sakayanagi Yuzo took the initiative to wipe the cake cream from the corner of Oreki-san's mouth. And this move is a bit explicit, almost showing the atmosphere of a couple. It was really a happy scene. Sakura-san then suggested this. Could it be that the person who has been supporting Oreki-san is Sakayanagi-san? Is it actually Sakayanagi? Everyone could notice, or rather watch, Oreki-san and Sakayanagi eating together. And what I ate was Banlieu's love bento. So it was almost confirmed that the two were dating. Because this is the standard for lovers. The specific manifestation is that Sato-san is crying again. But the idea Sakura put forward makes people feel. If so, if Sakayanagi is the senior who supports Oreki-san, then I am indeed not as rich as her, Sato-san said. She seems to have had some negative psychological trauma from the huge number of points. But for other people, everyone still knows that Oreki-san was kept by a rich senior sister not long after he entered school. On the first of every month, the other party will transfer 1,000,000 points. Oreki-san also told the people who consulted him that if the sponsor senpai made excessive demands on him, he would refuse. But what if the sponsor is a cute classmate? There seems to be no need to refuse. After all, the other party also gave so much money. So, Sakura's voice was very small, but it was like a revelation to her shocked classmates. The direction of their thinking immediately began to change. Indeed. If it's Sakayanagi from Class A. If it were Sakayanagi from Class A, he would definitely be able to get so many points. As students in Class D, everyone is still very sensitive to points. Class A's class evaluation score has always been very high, so there are a lot of points that can be obtained. At the same time, Banlieu is also a very important figure in Class A, so isn't it normal that he can get points from other people? So, Sakayanagi-san is a rich woman. So Oreki-san doesn't think he deceived Sato, but he chose to accept the care of the rich woman. So, is this rich woman who supports Oreki-san really the same classmate Itayanagi? Chapter 202 Oreki, my reputation seems to have been damaged. Because Oreki-san has always been taken care of by a rich senior sister. And it's a huge support. The other party's casual offer was 1,000,000 points a month. And there will also be a birthday share on birthdays. And everyone also knows that the school points will be exchanged for cash when you graduate, and even if you don't exchange them, you can still spend them on campus. So this is real money. I really gave money to Oreki-san. And now the wealthy woman's benefactor is Sakayanagi, so Oreki chose to date Sakayanagi. It went against the idea of only studying and not falling in love when I was in school. It all seems to be connected. But I just can't say, it must be Sakayanagi, Kurosawa said. After all, if Sakayanagi is the rich woman, then why do we date now instead of earlier? And Oreki-san and Horikita-san have a very good relationship. Sakayanagi-san must not be able to accept that. Kurosawa also felt hurt by Sakura's idea. Because if Sakayanagi was that rich senior, then he would really be completely inferior to her. After all, No one can refuse the favor of a rich senior who is cute, rich, and remembers his birthday. But what she said now, although it was a bit forced, it made sense. Because Houtarou's rich senior sister took care of him very early. He was even given a birthday gift of 1,000,000 points on his birthday. And if this person is Sakayanagi Yuzu, then it would be outrageous for him to accept Oreki-san and Maya dating in the future. You know, Houtarou's first kiss was taken away by Sato. And Sakayanagi can actually accept it? It's like a green savanna above. Zayawai doesn't think Sakayanagi can have such a measure. Yes. Although Horikita-san was moved out, what Kurosawa was thinking about was that he surrounded Hiyori-san during the holidays, and then everyone saw Houtarou's attack on Ryuan. In the end Houtarou chose to use his beauty to cover Maya's mouth for a date. Maya kept the secret and got a date and first kiss from Houtarou. And this kind of thing is obviously not acceptable to Sakayanagi-san. Sato-san obviously thought of something similar and was immediately comforted. After all, no matter who the sponsor senpai is, she got Oreki-san's first kiss. So, she is not at a loss. Yeah, too. After thinking about it, Sato-san pretended to be calm and said. Then just go and ask. If it's not the sponsor, senior sister, then there is still a chance, right? If the person who supports Oreki-san is not Sakayanagi Yuzu, then do you think there is still a chance? Sato-san. You haven't completely given up on Oreki-san yet. The classmates around him heard what Sato-san was thinking. And there is really no way to refute this, because before Oreki-san refused because he wanted to study in school and not fall in love, but now he has chosen to fall in love. Has his concept changed? So as long as Sakayanagi is kicked out, other girls will also have a chance. So, who should be arranged to inquire next? Sato-san said. Hey. Sato-san, your aura is wrong. It seems that you suddenly changed from the crying little tabby cat to a tabby cat. Then he became excited. Do you want to make a second confession? And everyone came here under the pretext of asking Oreki-san for you, so of course it's best for you to go. Curious about how Sato-san could suddenly change so quickly, Haruka took over the topic. It just so happens that Sakayanagi-san is here, so when I go to ask, please help me ask why Eri is regarded as a mascot. This status seems not very good, Haruka said. I don't think so. Boruga. Sakura-san immediately gained strength. He looked at his best friend with emotion. Because she thought Haruka was going to help her at first, but it turned out that he was going to help Sato-san, but now he really wants to help her. Gia is indeed a good friend I met when I came to this school. Then who should I ask, but Gia didn't want to ask herself. She is now also an officer of the student union, and Sakayanagi-san is Sakayanagi-san and also President Sakayanagi. Gia, who knows how to deal with people and the world, would not do anything to offend her boss before taking office. So, Kushida-san, can I ask you a favor? Haruka then looked expectantly at the short-haired little angel Kushida who was following him. Grass. Kushida was just a melon eater, but he didn't expect that this kind of thing would happen to him. Well, I thought of a more suitable candidate. Kushida didn't want to go because he suddenly asked. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 468. Are you dating? Is Yuzu Sakayanagi your rich senior sister Oreki? Sakayanagi, don't you think it's too much to give Sakura the identity of a mascot? Oreki, do you really want to date girls while you are studying? In fact, no matter what topic it is very offensive. Kushida didn't want to lose his evaluation. Especially Oreki. After all, new students were about to enter school soon, and for Kushida, Oreki's role immediately became prominent. She doesn't want to be favored by the other party -1. But now, After Bolyagia said this, everyone looked at her expectantly. Hey hey hey. Don't you bitches feel that you can shift the responsibility to others and feel relaxed? Because if someone asks, then you can continue to eat without being asked to ask. Moreover, Sato-kun, it was obvious that he stood up for you from the beginning, but in the end you didn't ask yourself. Is this still true? And now everyone is paying attention to her. There is expectation in these eyes. This is the look of the Kushida Empire that Kushida used to look forward to, but now she doesn't want to be a disgusting tool. But it's not good to refuse too directly. Luckily she turned her head left and right and immediately spotted someone who fit the bill. It was a girl with short blue hair who was eating alone in a corner. And following Kushida's gaze, everyone also discovered the suitable candidate. Ibuki Mio from Class C. The one who greeted Horikita in the elevator before and was ignored. Isn't it a little too much, Matsushita Kayaki said. She is also a friend of Sato-san, and she usually hangs out with Kuruzawa and the others. This time, of course, I participated in a group activity for Sato-san. At the same time, this person is also the type who understands the atmosphere very well. And she also recognized Ibuki. The girls were in the same elevator as Ibuki-san before. But Ibuki-san seems to be a very upright person. It's definitely right to ask her to ask. Kushida didn't say anything, and Poriga immediately said. This sentence made Kushida-san give a 10 favorable impression to Haruga-san. So she walked towards Ibuki-san. Ibuki-san. Ibuki Mio was eating alone. But Kushida is the social butterfly of her grade, and she has no ill feelings towards her. In other words, Kushida was probably one of the few people from other classes who would talk to her. Before, didn't your class say that they wanted to invite Oreki-san to Class C? Kushida said softly. Ibuki Mio remembered that it happened some time ago, and it was the suggestion of that idiot Ishizaki. But Ryuan also agreed. After thinking deeply, it seems feasible. Because their class had suffered at the hands of Oreki Houtarou several times. And Long Yuan's idea is correct. Why does the class keep being cheated? Not only are you hostile to Oreki Houtarou, but if you can turn your enemy into a companion, your record will definitely be terrible. What Class C can do is give away all the money and class evaluation points that other classes cannot do. On her side, her academic ability has improved and she can try to pursue the university she wants. But if you can really get a place in Class A, wouldn't it be better to just skip the exam? But this idea. He has already refused, Ibuki answered honestly. It seems so. After all, Oreki-san is now a student in Class A, and he dated Sakayanagi-san. The reason for the relationship seems to be quite obvious. Oreki-san has been kept by a mysterious man in the past, and the other party gave him 1 million a month. And this mysterious person seems to be Sakayanagi-san. Kushida still spoke softly, but her eyes moved in one direction. Ibuki discovered this. She followed Kushida's gaze and suddenly spotted Oreki and Sakayanagi Arasu, who were eating lunch together. So, in this case, Oreki-san is even less likely to come to your class. After all, your class can't be like Sakayanagi and give Oreki-san 1 million every month. Moreover, President Sakayanagi has deleted Ryuan and Ishizaki's student council status this time, Kushida said. And this tone is very bitchy. Although he looks a little worried about you, what he said is undoubtedly sowing discord. And this? Yes. Ibuki also saw the bulletin board. Originally, Ryuan and Ishizaki were allowed to join the student union, but now they have been deleted and replaced by Shiina and her side. And Ibuki doesn't think he is better than Ryuan. So I have no idea what Sakayanagi Yuzu is thinking. And Oreki Houtarou, you are exaggerating too much. Their Class C will give you all the points except for living expenses. Calculating this amount with your classmates every day, it can be 10 million or more per month. In the end, You were bribed for 1 million per month? Do you actually think you are only worth a million? So, thinking like this, the more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Ibuki immediately put down the spoon and walked towards Oreki and Sakayanagi. It looks like it's okay. Kushida stared at Ibuki's back, and then returned to the girls in the class. But Kushida, what did you say to Ibuki? Because they stood far away, no one heard what they said. I just said that I was curious whether Oreki-san dated her because the sponsor senpai was Sakayanagi-san. But it's not convenient to ask, so I just hope Ibuki-san can help. Kushida said. Oh, the girl in the class nodded. Kushida-san is so candid. Hee. And Ibuki had already walked over, arriving in front of Oreki-san and Sakayanagi. So that's it? Ibuki's tone was questioning when he came. Obviously Long Yuan said that you are good at business. Is this the result? Do you have to see the points before coming here? Sakayanagi Yuzu will only give you 1 million per month, and you will stay in Class A, but we in Class C will give you 10 million. Also, Sakayanagi, I don't approve of you. It was obviously arranged for Ryuan to join the student union, but now he has been deleted. What's the point? I don't think I'm better than him. So I don't want to accept this kind of list that doesn't match the strength. Ibuki looked menacing. But hey X2. This poor kid X2. Oreki-san and Sakayanagi-san each received reports from their informants very early on that the girls from Class D were planning to use Sato-san's name to come after the scumbag. And we did see them there. As a result, they couldn't come by themselves, and then Ibuki from Class C came. Oreki and Sakayanagi, who understood the general trajectory, sighed softly. Because how come this school still has such straightforward and innocent students? Ibuki Mio from Class C, first grade. President Sakayanagi folded his hands and raised his head slightly, looking at the other person with clear eyes. Do, what? As a confidant of Ryuan and often involved in Ryuan's battle plans, Ibuki knew early on that although Sakayanagi looked harmless to humans and animals, he was. This is the review of Long Yuan. Ryuan feels that Katsuragi is a good person who is easy to bully, but Sakayanagi is the kind of hedgehog that grows thorns and is difficult to deal with. Not to mention, Sakayanagi is still the student council president now. These are all manifestations of the opponent's skill. But according to Kushida, Sakayanagi gave Oreki Houtarou 1 million every month, and then Oreki refused the invitation to their class just because of this small amount? Indeed. When Ishizaki proposed inviting Oreki to join their class, she thought Ishizaki was crazy, but Ryuan agreed, and even Shiina agreed. Then you need to think about it. Then think about it. Ibuki found that it seemed possible. In this case, everyone contributes points, and when Oreki and Ryuan join forces, not only will there be one less enemy, but they will also increase their strength. It's really great. Everyone has a bright future. And Oreki's money-taking monster can also get a lot of points. But Oreki refused. And that's it for now. Because their class was writing a blank check, but Sakayanagi could directly give Oreki solid points. I'll call Ishizaki and Ryuan right away, Ibuki said. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 469. Why did you call them? Kosaka said. We found the reason why Oreki didn't join us. Isn't it because you gave him 1 million every month? Our class can also give you this kind of points, or even 10 times. I think Ryuan and the others will solve it, Fuki said. Join in? And then give him 1 million every month. That is to say, you have thought of collecting 20 million to invite Oreki to your class, right? Indeed, the next class can still do this. Ibuki didn't reply. But that means this is it? Dragon Boy is not bad. Kosakalu felt a grudge in his heart. Then what's going on with giving Oreki-san 1 million a month? Don't you know, however, this time Ibuki frowned. And Oreki will agree to date you because you give him money every month. It's the mysterious person who gives him money. Oreki-san did indeed receive a monthly support fee of 1 million yuan shortly after enrolling. According to Oreki-san, this is the sponsor senpai. But Kosake Inaga doesn't think that Oreki-san is the kind of person who meets a rich senior and then goes out with her. Who said that? Kosake Inaga then asked. Kushida-san, Ibuki said. Oh. Kushida-san. Then we are all friends. President Sakayanagi decided to add one more person to the list in the small book. And the other side. Can you hear what they're saying? Is Ibuki's fighting ability good? But Sakayanagi has already faced Ibuki. So what are they talking about? The girls in Class D looked very curious. It would be irrational to suddenly question Sakayanagi or Oreki. Sakayanagi is the student council president. And directly questioning Oreki-san is a move that will result in a -1 favorability. Especially if Oreki-san is willing to choose love now, isn't there still a chance? Ah, Ibuki is back. At this time, Kuruzawa, who had been paying attention, suddenly said. Kushida, please. Go find Ibuki and ask about the situation. Kushida. Good. Kushida, who realized that he had become everyone's tool, returned to Ibuki, who had returned to his original seat. But her words were beautiful. I was worried that someone would move your seat, so I occupied it here. Kushida-san was like a little angel. Then thank you very much. Ibuki's face softened slightly. But you may have misunderstood, Ibuki said. Oreki doesn't stay in class just because he gets 1 million a month. And the mysterious person who gives Oreki 1 million every month is not Sakayanagi. And he is dating Sakayanagi now because he likes each other. Profound. So this is Kushida felt that now that he had the answer, he could explain it to his classmates. But, he is dating Sakayanagi because he likes. Kushida was stunned for a moment. In fact, Kushida, who is from the chaotic camp, also knows who Oreki is having an affair with. Then who Oreki likes? It could be Horikita Suzune, although this made her unhappy. But unfortunately, Horikita-san doesn't understand love. And Oreki also said that Horikita-san is the type who only gets married but doesn't fall in love. Then it could also be Sato-san. This little Baichi has lied for a long time, and is regarded as a fake dog or something. Oreki's aura can occasionally be detected from her. Apparently they met in private and have a very close relationship. The same applies to Kuruzawa-san. It could also be Ichino-san. It seems that after Ichino's rumor incident ended, her relationship with Oreki-san deepened. In recent times, I have even wanted to attack him. What a terrifying archangel. Then it could be Hiri-san. Kushida often finds her and Oreki meeting in the library. But these people. And she included all kinds of dedication. Oreki never said he liked her at all. Rather, good guy. This guy's XP system actually looks like this. Tisk. Houtarou Oreki confessed his love to Sakayanagi Yuzu because he likes Sakayanagi. Probably first love. There is a passion of love at first sight. So I broke my original promise to study. After all, he is a teenager in adolescence, so he is easily impulsive, everyone understands. And this kind of thing. Although most of the people were waiting for Kushida to get news from Ibuki, who was completely inquiring, they quickly confirmed the answer. Because Oreki-san took the initiative to shake hands with Sakayanagi-san and interlocked their fingers. And this kind of behavior is obviously something you would only want if you like the other person very much. Oreki Houtarou fell to Sakayanagi Arasu. That is to say, He likes girls who look young. I always feel like my reputation has been damaged, Oreki-san said. Because I took out my phone. He didn't reply to anyone before. But now. I didn't expect that what you like is actually lowly by Sato Maya. I don't think I will grow any taller these days by Kurosawa Megami. Oreki-san, you'd better find Kushida-san, your XP is now widely known by Hiri Shiina. Don't worry, I won't look at you with colored eyes. Everyone's interests need to be respected by Hospi. What should I do, Oreki-san? I don't want to be a pet by Sakura. Oreki-san, the relationship between you and Sakayanagi-san is so good. I'm sorry for my unreasonable thoughts before. As expected, I can't think of the strange idea of joining this family by Itchy Nose. I will delete Crescent Princess information soon by Itchy Nose. Long Yuan Xiang, 2. Horikita Gakushu, 1. Additional information has been added. Chapter 203 Anti-Sakayanagi Alliance, Sakayanagi, haha. Because he sensed that his reputation was damaged. After Oreki-san checked the newly received messages one by one, he chose to leave. It wasn't that he was angry, but the message from Horikita Manabu forced him to reply. After all, what Sakayanagi did today went too far. Put the dating information directly on the bulletin board, then the first graders will know, and the senior students will also know. It can be said that this was directly revealed to the whole school. And he also received 2 messages from Horikita Manabu in succession. Let's meet during lunch break by Horikita Manabu. This is the message I received when a new message appeared on the bulletin board in the morning. And now it has become like this. Can't I please send you a text message, by Horikita Manabu? He didn't want Itaiji-san to be dismissed just after he took office, so Oreki-san went to the location of Horikita Academy with the mentality of cleaning up the mess. And the other side. The defeated dog, oh no, the girls who formed a group to show that Oreki-san was a scumbag and stood up for Sato-san were immediately defeated. But failure is failure, everyone still stayed in the cafeteria. Prepare a meal. After all, there are not that many people who are as virtuous as Horikita-san and can bring their own lunches. Everyone basically eats in the cafeteria. Normally, 2 or 3 people usually get together and eat. Today, because we were traveling together, we also ate together. Everyone lined up to get their meals. Counting, Kushida, Kurosawa, Sato, Matsushita Kayaki, Hospi, Sakura, and Shinohara-san, there are 7 people in total. They found a long table and sat down in 2 rows. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 470. Everyone's food was pretty good. Very appetizing. Class D doesn't have many points, but the members here are not that lacking in points either. And sit quietly. I don't want to join any student union. Suddenly someone said this. Ah. This is Sato-san with slightly curled hair. I found out in the morning that Oreki-san and Sakayanagi-san were dating, and I cried like a little cat. But just now, it was clear that everyone was standing up for her, but she didn't even come forward herself. But now, everyone has confirmed that Oreki Houtaru and Sakayanagi Arisu's relationship is a fait accompli. No quibble. But, Sato-san, weren't you thinking of kicking Sakayanagi-san away and getting on stage yourself? Now that we know Itanagi is not the one keeping Oreki-san, shouldn't we be happy? But, considering that this is the first time Oreki-san has shown his feelings, it would be difficult to make him change. That said, this could be true love. So breaking up true love is a nasty and difficult thing to do. So the Sato sank. And now she doesn't even want to be a student union officer. But everyone can understand her mood. Because the reason why she is objecting now is because she thinks Sakayanagi is a love rival. Then you have to see your love rival every day, and Oreki-san is not in the student union, then you may encounter Oreki-san, who goes to the student union to visit the class, and then ends up with Sakayanagi. This scene is unavoidable as long as you stay in the student union. So she must have felt bad. Compared to this, Kei's behavior was much more normal. After all, not many people know that she likes Houtarou. And now, although it is sad that he is dating Sakayanagi Yuzu, but he was often surrounded by Kushida-san and Horikita-san, but in the end he chose Sakayanagi. So what is it about Sakayanagi-san that is different from ordinary people? Weak and pitiful. At the same time, it can satisfy some people with a young and Taiwanese aesthetic. And she's not very tall, so isn't she barely qualified for this aspect? Therefore, this was the first time for her to discover Houtarou's XP. And I am still in the category that the other party likes, isn't this, not completely lost? There are some benefits to joining the student union, she added. It can increase points and bring some benefits to the class. Although Houtarou and Sakayanagi are dating. But Ibuki also gave a reply. Sakayanagi is not the financial backer of Houtarou. Then Houtarou only likes her because she suits his taste. So she still has a chance. Although it would be sad for Houtarou to visit the student union, she is also in the student union, so does she spend more time with Houtarou than before? Therefore, there is still a chance for Hui. She cheered herself up. Humph, guys like Sakayanagi, I don't want to approve. But Sato-san seemed aggrieved. I don't want to accept the current situation. What happened to a guy like me? But then a light voice came. The girl who came back from queuing to get her food got out of the way in surprise. Because this is the current student union president. Chairman, the biggest person under the principal. Sakayanagi Arisu walked over with a cane, and there were 3 students beside her. It's not Oreki-san. But they are all students in Class A. There is the familiar dog Kamuro. Then there is Masayoshi Hashimoto, who is also affiliated with the student union, and Hayato Kito, who doesn't like to talk. Hashimoto smiled carelessly. The ghost-headed falcon kept a straight face and said nothing. It gives people the impression that dark forces are rampant. But such a force is already a legitimate and positive force recognized by the school. Yuzu Sakayanagi herself is a weak girl. But with the help of the puppies and tool people, she has become very majestic. Although she is smiling, she has undoubtedly become a terrifying existence in the eyes of Sato-san. Sato-san's momentum stopped for a moment. I didn't say anything, she said. Her tone seemed to be less intense. In other words, I'm scared. I'm so scared, Sato. Then since there is no objection, I will gather at the student union at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Since I have become a member of the student union, I should contribute myself to this school. Except for the special examination rules that are notified by the teacher as usual on the 1st of every month, members of the student union do not have the opportunity to study for class meetings in the morning, so they all have to come to the student union to work. I think, as newcomers, you don't want to be fired just after taking office, President Sakayanagi said. Okay, X5. Probably intimidated by Sakayanaga's power, Sato, Kushida, Kuruzawa, Hospi, and Eri, who was called an angry pet, did not object. Because of Sakayanaga's appearance, everyone became frightened. On the other side, Oreki-san found Horikita Manabu through the location of his mobile phone. He is not in the cafeteria, but in the special teaching building. First floor. It was a familiar place, it was where Oreki and Ayanokaji met before. The reason is there are no cameras there. However, Principal Yu Cheng later installed a camera. But it was later demolished. So now is barely suitable for private conversations. But in this case, it means that Horikita NII has a request or said something that cannot be known to others. And thinking about it? When Oreki arrived, he found that not only Horikita Manabu was there alone, but Tachibana Akane Senpai was also there. "I'm here," Oreki said. "You're here," Horikita said. "Jujian." Tachibana thinks these two people are a bit strange. But Horikita-san didn't let her leave, so she should be able to listen to what the president and Oreki said next. Tachibana Akane didn't find it strange that Horikita-gakut said in public that the third candidate for student council president was Oreki. If one were to describe the school in terms of strength first, then Houtarou Oreki would unsurprisingly occupy the top spot. Rather, Oreki had done a pretty good job attacking Nagamo in the past. So perhaps it was Horikita-san's idea that he should take over. She thought. Then I heard Oreki-senpai speak first. "So, you asked me to come here specifically because you are considering leaving school, so you want to ask me to take care of your sister in the next 2 years. Indeed so." Horikita nodded. Orange Akane always felt like something was not right. In 1 month, the third-year students will graduate. And I have already received the information in advance. The special examination next month will be the same for the whole school. A closed-book exam with a fixed class evaluation score of 50 points. A score of 50 points cannot shake the position of any class, so our class will maintain its position as Class A and represent the graduation of the school. Horikita Manabu said. And on the 31st of next month, I will leave school on that day. Those who leave the school cannot re-enter unless they become employees of the school. Even if they want to apply for points in advance as a prize, they cannot do so. And all mobile phone information will be forcibly collected by the school. And this is a private number. Horikita Manabu took out a piece of paper. When I was admitted to this school, I received a mobile phone issued by the school. It is the same model as the one you have now. Obviously students have mobile phones, but they have to reissue and give everyone new phone cards. So I kept an eye on it and paid the 3 years' worth of phone bills on my junior high school cell phone, then kept it at home, so that number should still be able to be used now. If you come out one day, then contact me at this number.